This is one of the most frustrating stories in the Bible that nobody's talking about. Welcome to stories in the Bible that you've never heard of. The legendary prophet Elisha is on his deathbed, and Israel's king shows up freaking out because their enemies are closing in on him.
I'm in a glass case of emotion!
Then Elisha says, pick up the bow and arrow, which was kind of a weird command, but the king says, okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Then Elisha puts his hands on the king's hands and tells him to shoot. The arrow flies, and Elisha says, now that's the arrow of the Lord's victory. But then comes a test. He says, take the arrows in your hand and strike them on the ground. No instructions, no number, no explanation. He just says, strike it.
Do it.
And so the king does. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and then he stops. Elijah loses it and says, why did you only strike it 3 times? Now you only defeat your enemy 3 times. Here's the lesson. The king didn't fail because he was evil. The king failed because he was casual.
Send this to someone who is nonchalant. You need to be more chalant.
God wasn't just counting the strikes. He was measuring the passion. Sometimes we miss out on God's greatest victories for our lives, not because he says no, but because we only give him a halfway yes.
It is not cringe to be chalant. It is cool to do strong emotions to your bros.